It can be hard to decide which cryptocurrency exchange to use. There are a lot of options out there, and not a lot of them have a long history. We've reviewed the most popular crypto exchanges at NerdWallet, and I'm going to share with you how we review them. You can use some of these points to make your own decision about what you feel confident working with. Today, we're talking about how to choose a crypto exchange. Before we go too far, I do want to note that I'm not a financial advisor, and because everyone's financial situation is different, this is not personalized advice. The simplest thing to look at is fees, because you're definitely going to want to know how much you're going to pay to buy and sell crypto. The most common fee you're going to see probably is a transaction fee. That's just a percentage usually of the value of the transaction that you're carrying out. The fees can be kind of high, like 2% or over is pretty high. You might want to keep shopping around. We've seen fees as low as 0%, but that's, going to tell you that the company might be making money elsewhere and that you might want to give a holistic look to whatever else they're charging money for to make sure it really is the value it looks like. You might also pay different fees for things like trading cryptocurrencies for one another versus trading cryptocurrencies for cash. So think about the kinds of trades you're going to want to make and whether you might be able to minimize the fees by making certain kinds of transactions or carrying them out in a certain way. Another thing you should look at when you're making a decision is the minimum amount you can buy. Cryptocurrency is a risky and volatile asset, and starting small is a good idea, especially if you're new to it. We've seen exchanges that have minimums as high as $50, which can be a sizable initial investment for some people. Some are as low as $1. Another thing to note about minimums is that you may wind up paying more if the market's up or less if the market's down in real dollar terms, because the minimums are often set in denominations of cryptocurrency. All right, so why is a cryptocurrency exchange called an exchange? It's an exchange because it's a place where you can exchange cryptocurrency for other cryptocurrencies or for cash. Your cryptocurrency might be worth money, but if you want money in the traditional sense, you're going to have to sell it. An exchange will help you do that. Another thing you're going to want to look at is how easy it is to move cryptocurrency off of the platform. Now, cryptocurrency storage is a whole other subject, but the basics are this. You're going to need to have something called a digital wallet because that stores what's called a private key. A private key is kind of like a password, though not exactly. And essentially what it does is it allows you to claim, transact, or use your cryptocurrency. If you don't have your private keys, you're not going to be able to get your cryptocurrency back. It's gone forever. Exchanges will offer to store it for you, and that can be a good option if you're really a beginner. But exchanges can also be targets for hackers, and you might want to hold on to it yourself, and you have several options for that. But cryptocurrency exchanges don't always let you move things very easily, and they may charge money to do that as well. So you want to look at whether you can use your own digital wallet. Some allow you to, some don't. And you want to look at how much they charge to take crypto off the platform or to convert crypto into cash. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of security in cryptocurrency. Whatever exchange you choose, it's still your responsibility to protect your cryptocurrency. If you decide to keep money on an exchange or keep your cryptocurrency on an exchange, it's still up to you to make sure you feel comfortable with how that exchange is going to protect your assets. Exchanges are often the target of hacks. Sometimes they get customer assets. There have been big losses. Sometimes crypto exchanges will pay you back if you lose money, but you should know what their policy around that is and make sure it's guaranteed if you're really going to keep any assets of some significance there. So another thing you want to consider is the variety of cryptocurrencies available on the exchange you're considering. Variety matters because you want an exchange that might be able to grow with you if you decide to invest in more cryptocurrencies or diversify your portfolio. Some exchanges only have one cryptocurrency available. Not really an exchange, I guess. It's just a place where you can buy Bitcoin. On the other hand, there are places with more than 100. And you may want to decide whether you want a real curated list, real tight, something that is set up to just give you the sort of most established options, or one place where you can experiment and take some chances. How adventurous are you when you're deciding what to buy? Do you want to buy something that's just emerging, is untested, might go up a lot in value, but might not ever be worth anything? Well, you might want to pick an exchange that has a track record of being more experimental, taking things that are less established. There are lots of different kinds of cryptocurrencies, and they're used for different purposes. They have different long-term economic prospects. Some might succeed while others may not go up in value. You may want to have a diversified portfolio of cryptocurrencies, or you might want to select one that you have a lot of confidence in. I mean, there's no guarantees that any cryptocurrency is going to be a good investment, but if you want some that have performed a little more stable, ones that are more established, someone's narrowed it down for you, or you may have a lot of confidence in your ability to make evaluations in what you should invest in. So depending on that consideration, you may pick one that has a lot or a little bit of cryptocurrencies available. Exchanges take wildly different approaches to how they present themselves online, especially when it comes to mobile. So some exchanges only are available on mobile sites or mobile apps in the US, and some have really crappy mobile apps that don't work very well, and you really have to use them on a desktop. You really should ask yourself where you're likely to use a cryptocurrency exchange, whether you think you'll mostly be doing it on the bus, on the train, on your couch, or are you going to sit down once every couple months and make a couple trades, and you're going to want advanced trading views that you would view better on your desktop? These are big questions, but depending on how that works, you're going to want to look at the rating in the App Store. You're going to look at what services are available on mobile versus what services are available on desktop. Those are not always the same. And you're going to want to look at their track record of security and usability, like what customers have thought of using these services before. Another really important component of this is their customer service. Some have only chat-based service. Some have an email form you have to fill out. Some have 24-hour phone support. At NerdWallet, we rate highly for 24-hour support because if you run into a problem with your money, it is a lot of peace of mind to be able to get someone on the phone immediately rather than waiting till the next business day or having to send an email to someone who you don't even know if they're going to see it before morning. I cannot emphasize enough how important cryptocurrency security is when you're picking an exchange. These places are not insured in the same way that banks and brokerages are. If they fail, you may not wind up being made whole. There's nothing requiring them to do that. Some exchanges have private insurance, and if they've suffered hacks in the past, they have paid back the customers who lost cryptocurrency, but there's nothing that says they have to do that. So it's really important that you look at the security measures they take, their track record of security, whether they've been breached before, and if they have been breached, what did they do to make it right? To be clear, if you want the most control over the security of your crypto, the best option is probably to store it yourself somewhere that's not connected to the internet. But there are some things that crypto exchanges do in order to entice you to keep your assets with them. These are usually called rewards or staking programs, and they'll give you interest in the form of cryptocurrency for leaving your assets on an exchange. You might want to look at the rates, which cryptocurrencies are supported, and whether they require you to lock up your cryptocurrency for a given period of time in order to participate. But these programs can be worth considering and comparing. So with any of the information I'm telling you about, a really good way to find it is just to go to the website of the provider you're using and look on their frequently asked questions or potentially their help or customer service page. If you can't find it there, Googling it can usually bring up a lot of the information you will need. You may notice that I didn't mention a single crypto exchange in this whole conversation. This isn't about me telling you which is my favorite. This is about how you pick one for you. That depends on what your goals are, what your risk tolerance is, which factors are most important to you, and maybe there's a company you're already comfortable with and want to do business with. If there's one you think you want to use, the best advice I can give you is to do careful research, read up on it. NerdWallet has reviewed almost all these exchanges, and we have detailed information about their strengths and weaknesses. Whatever you decide, though, don't forget this is a risky asset class, so crypto safely. I'm Andy Rosen, an investing writer at NerdWallet. I actually write a lot of the crypto content on our website, so please let me know what you're interested in. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and please don't forget to subscribe.